Well, hello, hello, hello. Have you noticed long lines at the any store you go in right now, or have you noticed lots more traffic on the highway? Have you looked in your account, your bank account, and noticed a big whopping amount of money in there? Have you noticed any of that? And oh, by the way, do you have a plan to do something with these monies? That's what we're talking about today, to purpose uh, your government stimulus check. Spend your government stimulus check with intentionality, with purpose. And so we're going to talk through that today. My name is Angela Odom, Angela M. Odom. I am a life and leadership coach, founder of the Better You Project brand. I teach women how to increase and grow their skills and their leadership capacity. And oh, by the way, I'm a very proud Army veteran. So let's get started. Let's talk through what's going on now, understanding that the Biden administration, the U.S. Congress, has passed the American Rescue Act. All types of monies are being allocated to businesses, um, different corporations, and also to different agencies that will help to get shots in arms as far as vaccinations and testing and tracing, to kind of slow the tide of this growing um, um, COVID global pandemic, right? And so, with all these things happening, in addition to uh, the benefits and things that are coming with this uh, rescue bill, is direct payments, in addition to things for housing and other child care assistance, food programs, all this kind of thing. So these safety nets, these safety agencies are getting more money. Also, things for schools to come up to speed. So, but what I want to talk to you about today as a leader, right? I want to talk to you about spending your government stimulus monies with a purpose, with intention. And before we even do that, I want to welcome you again to the Better You Leadership podcast, right? I want to encourage you to subscribe, and I want you to um, listen to the podcast and then share it with other people. You have them to go, encourage them to go to Angela M. Odom on any of those platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Overcast, any of them. And you encourage them to listen. You encourage them to subscribe. And then if then you ask, I'm going to ask you to do what we're going to cover today. And Carrie, I see you said, good morning from Minnesota. So impressed with how well the Biden-Harris administration is really taking care of so many things. It is very impressive that they have competent people who know how to put systems in place and get things done. So yes, I totally agree with that. I want to just share a text that I sent to my nieces and nephews, and they're grown people with their families and living their lives, right? They're grown. My nieces and nephews are grown, and I have 14 of them. So I think I may have sent the same text to 12 of them, right? Or 10, because two of them are young. And so, in regards to the government check from the Biden-Harris administration, I pray you decide ahead of time what you'll spend your $1,400 on. I recommend you write down or document at least 5 to 10 things to do with the money. Then document whether the 5 to 10 things are wants or needs. I highly recommend that you purpose 90% of the money on your needs. I also recommend you practice saying no to folks who may have their hand out or may think that their needs or wants are greater than yours. Remember, most likely they'll receive a check also. And of course, I ended it with much love, the auntie. And so I thought about that and the responses I received from my nieces and nephews. I said, this will be a great topic to share with a broader audience. And we're going to cover just a few practical tips that you might consider. Because I see more traffic on the highway. Of course, I'm just riding around the block. I don't go too far. And I see we was in a grocery store and the lines were long. And we passed by a liquor store and the lines were long. We're seeing social media posts where people are traveling to different places. And so we can assume that the money is hitting the accounts left and right. And so before we spend it all, and in the blink of an eye, we're still in the same place we were before the money hit the bank, the accounts. We want to just be considerate of our future selves. So future you won't be pissed off with you right now, right? It's going, So you want to just take some time to think about that. And yes, I know I have a great sense of humor to me. So I hope you laugh also. So again, we're going to cover, just a few things with you today. And so you've heard people say, don't spend it all in one place. You've heard that. I'd like for us to consider, instead of saying that we actually have a different mindset and simply say, spend on purpose, right? Spend on purpose. Millions of people are receiving these direct payments. And if they already had some kind of established relationship with the IRS and it was, direct deposit, some will receive checks and it's going to take, a few more weeks. And then some, won't receive as much, depending on those dependents and all these other variables. And I'm not the expert on the amount of money. I'm not intending to present myself as a money manager. I am simply a process person, right? From a practical view, a person that understands that systems being in place are what's going to help propel us forward. And that's what we want. We want to move forward. We want to be in a better space. We want to increase our skills and our leadership capacity. So that's what I want to share with you, some steps to prioritize your financial dealings. And before we get into that, I want you to know the reason this is important for you and for me, to reflect, to think about what we're doing with this particular chunk of change, right? And so sometimes, we work in a work environment because we have enormous debt. So we're doing a job that we're not passionate about. You might not even be really good at it, right? You might be resentful for having to go to it or participate in an environment because you have enormous debts. Sometimes we remain in a romantic relationship because of the financial security, right? It might even be, not that it's dangerous or nefarious or unsafe. It is just what we're in a relationship because of the financial security. And I'm not here to judge or tell you whether it's right or wrong. I just want you to have awareness. And then sometimes we recognize that we are in a codependent relationship with our parents, with our family members, with our friends, with people, because of financial transactions, right? And so what we want to be able to do is step away from that and be able to discern the reason we are engaging with others or doing a particular job or performing a particular act. And we want to be able to free ourselves from that, right? We want to have a attitude change, a shift change. And we do not want to be in a position where the only reason I'm dealing with you is because you pay this or you give me this, and that might be money or not. And so, what does that mean? What it really means is you're not living your best life. And this is a better you community, right? You're not going after your specific goal because of this transaction or this thing you must do, right? You're staying in the same position because you might be scared, or you might be a people pleaser, or you might just not know what you want or need, what you desire, all those things, all those things, all those things. So that's the why. So it's time for us to lead ourselves, others, and processes. So if that is anywhere close to where you are, you got this money, like, you know what? I'm gonna go take all my friends out. We're going to get drinks. I'm gonna go buy another couch that I don't need. Whatever it might be, or I'm just going to splurge, or it's not, I just need something for myself. That's an excuse. Those are excuses talking. And I am stating that plainly, that I would like for you to step back and reflect on what you actually need to get done, so that in the next few days, next few weeks, you're not sitting somewhere with your lip poked out or your hand out when you have the opportunity right now to do something different, right? So this is, I just have a few steps that I will share with you. The first thing I'd ask you to do is to list the items that need to be paid, right? And we always want to make sure that we have a place to live. So whatever the housing situation is for you, and transportation, we need a way to get to another location, whether it is to our workplace that's going to pay us the money we need to take care of our families. So housing, transportation, then we all need to eat. Then there's a work-related incidentals. And then, of course, there's debts, DEBTS, right? So we want to list those items, 1 through whatever it might be. And then we're going to go back and we're going to label them as either needs or wants, right? You need a place to stay. You need transportation. You need food, right? And if your job requires you to wear a certain uniform, well, you need that, right? You have to have whatever you need to do to make yourself presentable, then you need that. And then you go to the debts. You got a bunch of credit card bills that you need to pay off, right? You're living off the credit cards, you need to take care of that. But it's not for me to decide. And I don't need to know the amount. I'm sure simply talking to you about things to consider. So 1 is list the items 1 through whatever it is, 1 through 20, 1 through 10, 1 through 30, whatever it is. And the second thing is to label them as needs and wants, each one of them. And then you want to, number 3, associate the payment timeline with each of the items that you listed. For example, if you are behind on a payment, then you may need to make a specific amount to remain in good standing. If you are renting and you are late on your rent, you got to have a place to stay. You have to have a place to stay, you and your family, right? Then you want to pay whatever you need to do for housing. So you want to document, you want to make sure that you know the payment and how soon you need to make this thing hold or put you in good standing. So that's number 3. And then you want to document the total amount that you owe, whatever that total amount is, as well as if you're allowed to pay a portion of the note to remain in good standing. We want to be in good standing. Good standing would either be 0 or, everything's paid up to whatever the line is. There's nobody's going to harass you about this thing, right? And then you want to, number 5, you want to calculate the total amount of money you currently have available. So you know what your items that you need to address. You've labeled them as needs and wants. You've associated a specific timeline to each of those items, and you know whether you are behind on it, you're already in good standing or not. You want to know that if you pay a portion, you're in good standing, or you need to pay it all off just for peace of mind, right? It's time to pay it off. And then you want to, so that's number 5 is to calculate the total amount of money you currently have available. And then 6, this is just for consideration's sake. Sometimes paying debts bring a sense of peace, at least for me, right? I'm like, oof, done with that. And you can make decisions according to, practical application, as paying them off one by one, or I need to just pay this joker off just for peace of mind, or I don't want to deal with this fella. I don't want to do this, right? So, and then of course, the last one would be now that you have assigned or allotted purpose and intention behind the money, you want to follow through and you want to pay the debts. You want to also consider doing something for yourself. So I would encourage you, right, to use 90% of this government stimulus money, 90% on your needs, 90% on your needs, and then 10% on wants, right? And you might just not even have a whole bunch of needs. That would be fabulous, right? But I would tell you to also know when to say no to others, people who believe that they have their hand out to you, or they want to make you feel guilty because perhaps they think their needs are greater than yours. So go ahead and practice in the mirror by yourself, in a room by yourself, saying no, or how you're going to distract from that. One way is to go ahead and spend the money. Go ahead and pay your needs off. You're like, oh, I don't have it. That's what you could do. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I want you to have a purpose for your money now, right before you spend it all. So Carrie says, that's the first thing I did when it was confirmed before I even got it, would urgently need some of this. Exactly, Carrie. And so that's what we're talking about today. And so for leaders, right, this is an opportunity for you to lead yourself and others and processes, right? This is an opportunity for you to have a conversation, not judgmental, not directive, with someone, nieces, nephews, kids, family members, friends, whatever it is, to have a conversation and to be a good role model, right? Be a good role model, especially if someone is prone to look to you when they don't have everything covered. Might be a good time to have a conversation with them right now. And then if you are the person you might be prone to look to others when you don't have all your financial responsibilities covered, it might be a good time for you to stop and then write down all of the items and follow through. Send the money, pay the people, right? Pay these debts. Get yourself in good standing. Get you some breathing room. That's what I like. I like peace. I like to have peace. And there is full emotions associated with being overburdened financially. Been there, done that, right? Been there, done that, and understand it. And I'm blessed to be in a very different situation now, predicament now, circumstance now. But I do understand the stress that comes with that. And I'll also understand the reason we might say yes to something when we really mean no. It is because we are obligated and we have responsibilities. We have, people dependent on us to take care of them. And so we have to stop and think this thing through. Oh, by the way, I am very grateful that the Biden-Harris administration has acted so competently, and where it pertains to the COVID vaccine, as far as getting vaccinators, give access to more people being able to get vaccinated, and the testing, tracing, all of that. And then the supplies to the frontline medical workers, making sure that the schools at some point will be able to open more safely. All of that is it's just amazing to me that being able to do this. It's going to help, I believe, help so many people do so much more good. And oh, by the way, be able to breathe, literally and figuratively. So I am grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for you, right? I'm grateful for you. And I'm happy that you are getting some chunk of change in your account. So please just let me know at some point whether or not either one of these practical steps helped you to think through what you wanted to do. I love to get your feedback. And I also love to know if you did something different so that we all might learn from it. So leave those in the comments. Again, my name is Angela Odom, and I am a life and leadership coach, founder of the Better You Project brand. I teach women how to grow their leadership skills and their leadership capacity. And I'm also a very proud Army veteran. So with that said, as always, I am rooting for you. You all take care, and may the good Lord bless you and yours.